Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Let's talk about it. I'm Kiana. Y'all can call me Kiki, and today we're gonna do a story time. Before I can tell you guys like how my hair became this way, like I gotta take it back so like the stories don't make sense. So basically, by the time my mom was 16, she already had 2 kids, and before she was 18, we were both taken away from her. I don't know how much of these stories are true, from what happened and why we ended up in foster care, because everybody that was old enough to know kind of all tell different stories. So I don't know. Moral of the story is me and my sister, we ended up in foster care. I had burns, 2nd and 3rd degree burns on me, my arms, my legs, possibly from my iron. I don't know how much of that is true. I just know I had burns on me. My sister had either a fractured arm or a broken arm. Anyway, we ended up in foster care. We did not go to the same foster home. We did end up reuniting later on, in the years, but like I'll get to that story time as well. So luckily for me, the foster home that I was in, I was there the entire time, so I didn't bounce from like foster home, like I didn't bounce over the foster system, not at that point actually. I did, but that was like after I had turned 16 and I wanted to go live with my mom and all this other stuff. But right now I'm not gonna jump into that. So why I was in foster care, and just to give y'all like an idea of the type of foster home I was in. So my foster parents, they were married. They had been married for years. They owned their home. They had been foster parents for a substantial amount of time. At that time, as a kid, I'm thinking like wow, like this was the best thing that happened to me because of the living situation. So basically it's like a 5-bedroom house, okay? Anyway, in one bedroom it was me and 2 other foster kids. Okay, we all had our own beds though. Eventually became just me and one other person, because the other person that was in the room with us ended up going to have her own room, because I don't know if I should tell that part. We're not going to tell that part, but she ended up having to go to sleep by herself in like a whole separate room. But anyway, no, I think I need to tell that part, because then it's not, everything else is not gonna make sense when I do my other story time. So anyway, she used to pee in a bed, and like I was not having it. One of us had to go, so she would sleep in like another bedroom, an empty bedroom by herself. So anyway, later on, so I don't want to skip to that part. So while we're here, like I said, I'm thinking as a kid this was the best thing that could have happened to me. So in this foster home, when I say like we never had an issue with food. Like we always had food. Our clothes were always clean. I kind of want to leave it at that, because the toys that we were playing with, they weren't technically ours. You know, I can't say like this tablet is mine. You know, I can't say like, oh, you know, the toys that I play with, these dolls that I'm playing with are mine, because they weren't. You know, but we took baths every day, even though we had to take baths together, like all 3 of us. Yeah. You know, so things like that. But I hope I'm not skipping over nothing. I don't know. So anyway, so that's pretty much what it was. So I think I want to say about 2. I could have been a little younger. From what they was telling me, I was about 18 months. But, you know, like I said, I don't know. But I was very small. There were other foster kids already there, older. So, you know, so they would do my hair, stuff like that. I would remember because it would hurt when she would do my hair. And now that I know, because of the dandruff, the little fungus I had, that was why, because I've never been tender-headed. But at that time I didn't know, you know, like what all that was in my head or whatever. So I come to this foster home. Like I said, I didn't bounce around. So my hair is being combed, and like, you know, we had clothes to wear and things like that. And as I got older, I want to say 10th grade is when not 10th grade, when I was 10 years old, so I was 5th grade, is when I started, like, it's like when I really started like really picking at it, because the kids at school would tease me. So like I would scratch, and I remember this day like so vividly. I scratched my head like so hard, and I'm just like pulling out the flakes, y'all. Like it was so big and chunky, like y'all know how Frosted Flakes look. Just imagine like 4 or 5 Frosted Flakes clumped together, y'all. When I say I'm not pulling them out like with like 2 hands, like I'm clawing at my head, like. And I'm pulling it out, and I remember looking at it, and it was so thick, and like, you know, like how could something like this be in somebody's head? And it had like all, of course my hair is attached to it from the roots, like. And I remember looking, and it was bleeding, and it was hurting so bad. And I kept telling another one of the foster kids, he was grown, you know, but I kept telling him like, my head is hurt, my head is hurt. And I'm crying, like, because it was like, it's hurting, it's burning. And I'm just like trying to put water on it. It wasn't working. And I'm telling him, so I guess he went and like told our foster mom. And like she sent him to the store. And he came back with like this Selsun Blue and some other kind of something, and like he had washed my hair so good, y'all. When I say there was like no flakes or anything in my head, but my head was still like so sore, and you know, because it's like patches missing. And but the dandruff was gone. It did come back because they didn't keep up with the washes. It did come back, and I want to say maybe like a week later, another foster kid that lived there, she was also grown. I remember her braiding my hair, and she parted it down the middle, and she gave me 2 big French braids. And I'll never forget it, because when I went to school, the kids were teasing me, like, you know, like, what is that in your head? Like what is that? I didn't even know like the dandruff had came back, because I had stopped like even looking or whatever. And like you could see like the bald spots, y'all. I was so embarrassed, like what the fuck. So anyway, I remember going home, and I took those braids out. Like, don't ever open my head like ever again. So I would go, and this is when I perfected my buns. And for y'all that remember me from elementary even into junior high, y'all know I had the slickest bun ever. Like, I perfected that style. Like, I would never wear my hair open so that you couldn't see here. Now don't get me wrong, as I got older, I didn't take care of my hair either. Like, I was getting it done, but like I'm hopping from like beautician to beautician, so that added on to it, getting braids, perms, and all that stuff. And yeah, it was a total mess. But anyway, back to the foster home. So I remember never just wearing my hair open. So she was like a real, I don't want to say holy, you know, I don't know, like she was really into church. Okay. And I remember her one day, she was like, oh, oh, you guys are gonna get your hair done. And I'm like, oh, you know, like, oh, okay. And I remember the girl, she came and she washed her hair and she's pressing it. And I remember her like just like rubbing my scalp, like, you know, like this. So I went to rubbing like this, like, oh, is my dandruff back? And she was like, what is it? You know, and I'm telling her like what the foster, like my foster brother was basically telling me, like, oh, they said it was dandruff, blah blah blah. So I'm telling her, and you know, like the look on her face. Anyway, so yeah, so she did my hair and she's pressing it, and now my hair is like, you know, so it's all down or whatever. And I remember her putting rollers, and I was like, you're gonna leave my hair just open like this with the curls in? She was like, oh, well, I don't know how, you know, like your foster mom's gonna do it. And I was just like, like, I remember being like pissed off. So I remember I was the first one up that Sunday to get ready for church, and I went to the bathroom and I took them rollers out, and baby, I parted my hair from ear to ear so I could cover all, and I sure did pull all that back, and I left like this part, you know, so that it could be curled. And I got these little bowls that she used to have, and I put a bowl in it. I put the bowl, and I thought she was gonna trip because she liked to show out for the church. So I put it in, and she was like, oh, you went and did your own hair? And I was like, yeah. And that was the day I fucked up too. And she was like, oh, okay, go help me with, you know, I ain't gonna say her name, you know. And I go and I did her hair. And then one of the other girls, I was fixing hers too, but I just left hers down because she had really thick, pretty hair, and I left hers. So now jumping back, there was another, so at this time I don't want to say, well, yeah, I was the newest foster kid, because like I said, it was already 2 other kids that were living there still, and then it was me. No, I think it was another kid before me. I just don't remember if he got there before or after me, but so it was them 2 plus another one. But remember, the first 2 were grown, so then, you know, so the first 2 that was grown, they started like going and coming, you know, they would be gone for months, come back, you know, stuff like that. So anyway, so then it was the other boy, then it was me, another kid came, and then another kid came. But this last kid, and not the last, because they still had kids after that, which I'll tell story times on that. But when that kid came, baby, that was the first time that I actually experienced colorism, racism, favoritism, all the isms. Like, I'll never forget it. And I'm gonna get into story times of things that I used to do to her because I was jealous. So I think I'm gonna just stop it. I think I'm gonna just stop it right there. So long story short, that's how this bald spot started, is because I was in foster care. So I'll jump back to like reuniting with my mom and stuff like that, but that, like I said, that's gonna be other story times. But for the most part, yeah, we're just gonna wrap this up. But y'all, thanks for listening, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. I don't want to tell that part, I'm gonna just wait. So y'all, thanks for watching. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel so that y'all can stay up to date with all my new updated YouTubes. And I will be posting some on my social medias, my other social media platforms, but I will not be posting the full clips like you will get on YouTube. So make sure y'all hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so that you can see when I have new posts. So I'll see y'all. Bye.